Yes, please.
According to the Islamic law of inheritance, if a son dies before his father, his children are not entitled to his share of inheritance. Hazrat, this seems very sad because the children not only become orphans, but are also deprived financially.
Yes, I got to this question all right. Now I'll answer that. The point is, you are showing pity to the grandsons of a grandfather, while you also assume that grandfather had no pity for his grandsons. That is exactly, in a nutshell, the position of the whole case. If somebody's son has died in his lifetime, and he has left behind, that dying son has left behind a few children, what stops that grandfather from giving, willing or actually distributing part of his property to the bereaved family of his own son? If he has no pity, what right do you have to show pity on them? That shows that Islam leaves the decision in the hands of the competent person. The person who is the owner of the property, he is the competent person, and he is most closely related to his dying son. If it's a question of natural pity, he is the person who must entertain that pity, and Islam does not prevent him. This is the wrong impression by many others, apart from you, Islam does not prevent a grandfather to will his property to his grandsons. Nowhere it does. Why Islam does not transfer automatically the right of inheritance of that dying son to his children is a matter of principle, and that principle cannot be sacrificed. The principle is this, that when somebody is alive, his property belongs to him, and his children have no right by themselves to interfere or appropriate that property in any way. While I live, my property is my property. That is not the property of my children. So if a son dies in my presence, I am quoting an example, then he has died without property, because he died before he had inherited the property. So if you, out of pity, change this, you change the whole principle, and that would mean that entire jurisprudence would have to be changed accordingly, and a right would be established for every living son or daughter over the property of his or her father, and the entire system would be destroyed. So Islam is a religion of principles, yet it leaves doors open for occasions of pity and consideration, compassionate grounds. So it is the grandfather himself who has primarily to will a portion of that property to his grandsons and granddaughters, not a third person. Yes, please.